What's good, y'all? We did it. Tokyo is in the history books, and look at that medal. I'll show you the back of the medal too. That's the back of the medal. And let's talk about the race. So I'll try to give this video a bit of a official ending, because I think my battery was so low when I was recording that there wasn't enough juice, or I was afraid that it wouldn't be able to record like how you normally see me record basically almost the entire race, right? So let's start off with talking about the corral that I was in. So I was telling folks here, my goal, and they were kind of looking at me like, how are you going to reach that goal when you are here? I was like, what's the problem? And they were like, that's the back. That is the absolute back of everything, right? It's almost like a New York Roadrunner. It's like the JKL corral. Where I originally started in my running journey. You see it in some of my earlier videos. Yeah, that's where I was. But I almost feel like God placed me there for a reason, because the people who I met in the K Corral, like, we just started bonding and talking, because we were mostly from the US, sort of found ourselves. I overheard them talking. I said, hey, can I join you guys? So there's folks of different capabilities there, and septuagenarians and all kinds of people that are still running even in their the 70s and plus, who have gone through a lot of obstacles to be able to still run. And it's impressive, right? Those stories, and they need to be told, they need to be heard, and people are proud to be able to be out there and still run in conditions that are ideal, and then also not ideal. I'll talk about that a little bit in a bit, but this is the corral where folks were questioning, how am I going to reach my goal when I'm all the way there in the literal back? And I'm actually proud of myself, right? So who's in this corral? As I mentioned before, folks that are 5 hours and 6 hours running time, which is their expected finish. And so the pacers in my corral was the sweeper and the 5 hour pacer. So my strategy was, I'll just have to find a way to find a decent pace. But I guess the issue with that was the energy it took to get to that. It took a lot, and I didn't really feel it. Surprisingly, I didn't really start to feel it until mile 19. So I'm actually proud of this. So my final time is 4:35 something, right? And I'm still trying to crack 4, right? That just goes to show you, I think I could have done it. I think I could, if I was in the proper placement, I think I could have done either a 4:10 or 4:20 worse, or 4, right? To gun it like that, I was happy, right? So this is a great race. It's a great course. The thing is that the temperature started kind of chilly in the beginning. And then somewhere around, like I mentioned, mile 19, I started to decline. And it was because the heat, right? And then they started to blast the warnings. Heat warning, stroke, heat stroke risk. Please, listen to your body, slow down if you have to, or stop running, or make sure you hydrate and drink water. So that was scary. And there were a few frightening things that I've seen along the course that were scary. I'm going to try to follow up on and see if these individuals are all right. But I have a piece of paper here, and I wrote it on the new Hotel Otani. That's where I'm staying at. Of folks that I met along the way that are basically, this trip transformed me. It changed me. So shout out to David and Sean. We chatted a lot and shared a lot of running stuff, and I feel like we have similar capabilities. They're faster than me though. Motoko, who was the tour person, did an excellent job of teaching us about Tokyo and tradition and history and all of those things. So she was our sensei for the trip. And then there's the bus mates that you meet along the way. Sharon, shout out to you. Ashley, who was on the boat ride. Robert, Megan, and Joseph. Megan and Joseph were in the K Corrals, right? Multiple Megans, actually. There were multiple Megans. Naomi, who we ran during a shakeout run together. Femi, we didn't get to run together, but we always would chat and ask each other how we were doing. James, Ryan, Barrett, and I'm going to save the last few for a moment. So during this trip, I wasn't anticipating this. I had no clue. But there were some big YouTubers here. And when I was going the first day here, because I was late, remember I was late. First day here, I'm like, I don't know where anything is. Let me just get breakfast and I'll figure it out. So the first person I see in there is Aubrey from Bigger Than Running. I just saw him. I said, Aubrey. And he turned around, like almost like he looked at me almost like he knew who I was. But, he meets so many people, right? People shout his name out all the time. And he shook his hand. I told him, I have a small YouTube channel and his stuff is very inspiring to people, including myself. And, it was amazing. And then what happens is he gets his breakfast and then he goes to sit down. And then who's sitting there? Ben and Mary from The Messy Happy. And I couldn't pass up the opportunity. I said, may I join you all? Right? I was a little shy, I said, may I join you? And they're like, yeah, please sit. I'm like, I know I'm not I call them running royalty. I'm not running royalty, but, may I please dine with you and have breakfast with you? And who else was there? Folks from the running channel, the running channel UK. And I'm like, wow, this is big. This is huge. This is big for me. So at the end of a breakfast, I asked one more thing, because, you miss 100% of the opportunities that you never take, right? So I asked them, like, can I record a quick video with you guys? And then, they were happy to do it. Aubrey, man, he gave me like the biggest shout out. I'm going to post all that stuff so that you can see it, but, or maybe you have already seen it, because I'm going to edit this and put this in the video, but, I feel anointed. I feel like I'm a YouTube runner anointed, right? Or christened, however you want to phrase it. That I feel like after this race, like this race changed me, right? Not just for the running, but for like this mission that I'm on, and like where am I headed? Where is this going? And sometimes I don't know the answer to that, but I think I'm getting a better understanding of what I need to do, and that really comes down to a story, right? It really comes down to like, what am I telling? It's great to just show running, but to be honest, people don't really want to see running consecutively for hours. Some do, right? I have people I follow, Running with Reggie, who's like my senpai, who is I feel like a protege of his, that he just loves to run, and he's just, it's hard, right, to run with a camera for hours, and he has his camera, he's holding it in his hand, and he runs fast, and he's holding his camera the whole time. So I'm learning strategies about like how to run with a camera. Like for this marathon, I was like, I'm not bringing the Osmo Action handle. It slowed me down in New York. It was heavy. I was switching arms. While it did give me all the battery that I needed, it was not designed. It was not designed for that use case. It's proven. I proved it. Maybe I could put me in a Guinness book for running with a battery handle for a marathon. But I'm proud. So I finished 4:30, and it was a 4:30 where I had to run really aggressively past a lot of people who were in the 5-hour, 6-hour time span. So this 4:30, I'm not going to say it's a true 4:30. Let's think about it that way. It's not. I ran 4:30 from the back, and if you look at the stats, it shows how many people I passed, and I think it was like 4,000, 5,000 people during the course of that whole thing. So I'm happy. I'm proud of my performance. While I did struggle in the end because of the heat, and like my lips are still dry. They're still dry. It's the next day, and I've been hydrating. I've been drinking. It's like there's nothing I feel like that's cracking this hydration problem I'm having right now. All the water, the Pocari sweats are not or not doing it right now. Just in case you don't know what that is, hold on, let me get it real quick. I guess while I'm at it, I'll show you some. Actually, I showed you some of these goodies already, right? Yeah. I didn't show you this. Right, the Bacardi Sweat, and then I'm gonna have this as a pre-breakfast before big breakfast downstairs. So that's it. This is my proper send off. It's kind of long. It's 10 minutes long, right? That's like the length of like a whole YouTube video, proper YouTube video edited. But I might do this as like a part two, or like a epilogue to the trip, and then we'll get back to things that are upcoming. So what do I have next? Not long after this marathon, which I struggled in the end, but also like trained really hard up to in the freezing cold in New York City just to come here. And then it's actually like very warm. I can't control what God does, right? God does what God does, and that's the weather it was, and just deal with it. But I have the United half coming, and that is on the 15th, right? If I'm not mistaken. And then after that, I have in April the Brooklyn half. And I'm gonna bring these Sauconys with me. I really enjoyed running with these, right? They're not as screaming loud like Alpha Flies. I feel just as fast. And these are not even, and I'm gonna tell you now, these are not even the endorphin elites. When you see my videos, I just say Saucony endorphins, right? These are Endorphin Pro 3s. They're old, but I got them on sale. They were like $60. So like, if you see those, grab them. They're good. $60 for like what I feel is a very high-end shoe that, people kind of like the style. Like, oh, do you have the A6 Metaspeed, blah, 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 Tokyo, Paris, this and that. I'm like, you don't need all that. You can get a $60 shoe and run a marathon, and you can have a great time. So, I'm going to eat this onigiri just real quick so you see it. There's like a special way you got to open it. It's like 1, 2, and 3. So I'm gonna give it a go. What you wanna on the camera? So that's 1. It keeps going, I suppose. It's not. There we go. That's 1. It kind of was stuck because they put the price tag sort of on there. 2. Pull it here. You don't want to make a mess. And the last one. 3. And this was part of my checklist, onigiri, just showing you rice. It's just a rice bowl, wrapped, seaweed wrapped. This one's tuna or salmon. I forget. I just destroyed the wrapper, so I don't remember. So let's dig in. Man, that's good. All right, I'm gonna enjoy this. My checklist is not done. I have to pick up some stuff from duty free. One last souvenir is either whiskey or sake. Probably gonna be whiskey because I had sake, and I'd rather get the whiskey. So Japanese whiskey is very good, and a shot glass. And my checklist will be done, and I'll do some drawing in the garden, and then check out and head back to New York, y'all. So with that, my running bastards, we're out. I'll see you soon. Take care.